Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the last class, we learned about bill of exchange. So today we will understand another important negotiable instrument, that is promissory note. What is the meaning of bill of exchange? Bill of exchange means it is a written order from one person to another. Means here the drawer, he is the maker of the bill of exchange to another person, means to drawee to pay a certain amount of money to someone either immediately or after a fixed time. Means the bill of exchange that is prepared by whom? That is prepared by the drawer, the person who makes the bill, and to whom the bill of exchange is given? To the person who has to pay the amount, and that person has to pay the money to the payee. Payee means the person who will receive the payment or someone else. Usually the payee is drawer itself, right? So this is the meaning of bill of exchange. Now let's see what is the meaning of promissory note. So before the definition, here also first we have to learn about the parties involved in promissory note. See, let's here. See, in bill of exchange, there are mainly three parties: drawer, drawee, and payee. Right? But in promissory note, there are two parties. In a promissory note, they are maker or drawer. Maker means the person who make the promise and signs the note. Means the one who has to pay the money. Here, see the difference. In promissory note, maker means the one who has to pay the money. But in bill of exchange, drawer means the person who makes the bill. Means for drawer, drawee needs to pay the amount, and he is the person who makes the bill. Right? But in promissory note, maker or drawer means he makes the promise and sign the note. Means the one who has to pay the money. So maker has to pay the money to whom? To payee or drawee. Drawee means here the person to whom the money is promised to paid. The person to whom the money is promised to paid. Exactly the opposite of bill of exchange, right? Drawer and drawee. Right? For example, Ramesh borrows rupees 10,000 from Suresh. Ramesh borrows rupees 10,000 from Suresh, and means here Ramesh. Ramesh borrows means he has to pay the money to whom? Suresh. Right? So Ramesh, he becomes the maker or the drawer, and Suresh becomes the payee or drawee. Because to whom the money is promised to pay means to Suresh. Here Ramesh writes and signs a note saying, I promise to pay. Means Ramesh writes, I promise to pay Suresh or order the sum of money rupees 10,000 after 3 months. So this is the promise given by whom? Given by Ramesh. To whom? To Suresh. Clear? I hope this is clear to you all. Now here Ramesh is the maker of the promissory note because he has given the promise that I will pay amount of rupees 10,000 to Suresh after 3 months. So Suresh is the payee means who? The person to whom the money is promised to pay. Means he is the receiver of the cash. Suresh is the receiver of the amount or cash. Ramesh is the maker or he is promised to pay the amount to Suresh after 3 months. Clear? So I hope this is parties involved in a promissory note is clear to you all. Now next let's see the definition of promissory note. See here, according to the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, a promissory note, it is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. Clear? So here a promissory note means it is an instrument in writing. Means it must be in writing. The promissory note that must be in writing and containing an unconditional undertaking. Like bill of exchange, here also it should be, it must contain an unconditional promise to pay. Unconditional promise to pay. It means what? It means that the maker of the promissory note, maker of the means drawer, maker of the promissory note must clearly promise to pay the money without attaching any condition to that payment. That is what unconditional undertaking. See, for example, I promise to pay rupees 10,000 to Suresh. To Suresh. Right? After 3 months. After 3 months. Here there are no conditions. Means this is an unconditional order. Unconditional, sorry, not order, unconditional promise to pay. Unconditional promise to pay. Here you should be very careful. Unconditional order means what? That is a bill of exchange. Bill of exchange, it is an order to pay. That it is the drawer, he orders the drawee to pay the amount. But here the drawer means exactly the opposite of bill of exchange. Clear? The drawer means who has to pay the amount. He is going to give the promise to the drawee, means the receiver of the cash. Clear? Bill of exchange, it is an order to pay, but this promissory note, it is an promise to pay. Clear? This is what? Unconditional undertaking or unconditional promise to pay. Now another example is I promise to pay rupees 10,000 to Suresh. Sorry. I promise to pay rupees 10,000 to Suresh if I win a case. If I win a case. If means this is an conditional promise. So this is an conditional promise. Means I will pay the amount of rupees 10,000 to Suresh only if I win a case. Otherwise, I will not give the amount. This is a conditional promise. So our promissory note should be unconditional undertaking. Clear? And signed by the maker. Signed by the maker means it must be signed by the maker. Maker means the drawer, the person who make the promise and signs the note, means nothing but the one who has to pay the amount. Clear? To pay a certain sum of money only to. To pay a certain sum of money means the amount payable must be certain. It should not be uncertain. Clear? It should be fixed. Clear? Or to pay a certain sum of money only to, or to the order of a certain person, or to the order of a certain person. It means what? It means the payment can be made to that person or to anyone he orders. Here, signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to. It means the payment is to be made directly to a specific person whose name is written on the instrument, or to the order of a certain person, means the payment can be made to that person or to anyone he orders. Means the payee, he can transfer the right to receive the payment to another person by signing the note. Clear? Or to the bearer of the instrument. Bearer of the instrument means the payment should be made to anyone who present the instrument. Means that is nothing but the person who is holding the promissory note. For that person, the drawer or the maker has to pay the amount. That's it. Clear? So what is the definition of promissory note? A promissory note is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. Clear? This is the definition of promissory note. And how many parties are involved in a promissory note? There are two parties involved in a promissory note. They are maker or drawer, means the one who has to pay the money, and the person who makes the promise and sign the note. And payee means the person to whom the money is promised to pay. Clear? These are the parties involved in the promissory note. In the bill of exchange, there are mainly three parties are involved in a bill of exchange. Right? Drawer, drawee and payee. Here drawer means who? The person who makes the bill and who is going to receive the amount. Who is going to receive the amount. And drawee means the person who has to pay. Drawee means the person who has to pay. See, this drawer and drawee, this is the exactly opposite of, in promissory note, these drawer and drawee terms, parties are exactly the opposite of bill of exchange. Clear? In promissory note, drawer means who has to pay the amount. Here, but here in bill of exchange, the person who receives the amount. But in both, they have to prepare, they makes the bill. Drawer. Here in promissory note, we will call it a drawer also as a maker. Clear? And drawee means who? The person who has to pay. The person who has to pay. But in promissory note, drawee means the person to whom the money is promised to be paid. Clear? Drawee means the receiver of the amount. That is also called as payee in promissory note. Clear? And another difference between bill of exchange and promissory note is, bill of exchange, it is an order to pay. Bill of exchange, it is an order to pay. Right? Bill of exchange, it is an order to pay. Here the drawer gives an order. The drawer gives an order to the drawee to pay a certain amount to the payee. Right? Payee or himself, the drawer himself. Means, for example, Ramesh orders Suresh to pay rupees 10,000 to Mahesh. Clear? Ramesh orders. Orders means that is a bill of exchange. Promise means that is a promissory note. Bill of exchange, it is an order to pay, right? Ramesh orders to Suresh, means Ramesh becomes the drawer and Suresh becomes the drawee. The person who has to pay rupees 10,000 to Mahesh means payee. The person who will receive the payment or the drawer himself. Clear? That is what bill of exchange. And what about promissory note? So here promissory note, it is a promise to pay. The maker himself promises in writing to pay a certain amount to the payee. See here. The maker himself promises in writing to pay a certain amount to the payee. For example, Ramesh promises to pay Suresh rupees 10,000. Ramesh is the maker of the promissory note and he is the drawer. Promises to pay Suresh. He is the payee or drawee, means he is the receiver of the amount. Clear? So I hope this promissory note and bill of exchange, both concepts are clear to you all. So if not, please leave a comment. Thank you.